Hello, we are doing vlog and I'm gonna finish doing my makeup for an event we're going to for work, and I look like a ghost, and I'm gonna talk about what I'm currently reading. So I am also currently rereading the Twilight series because I have no shame, it's like my favorite series of all time. And we're reading it with some of my friends that have never read it before, which is really cool. Also going in with, I've already done my foundation, which is why I look crazy, and my concealer, my powder, but I'm going in with this e.l.f. liquid blush. This is not a makeup tutorial, this is me doing my makeup while I talk, so if I'm speaking long, that's why. So yeah, we're rereading that. We're on New Moon right now. I will say it is like my least favorite one in the series, only because it's really sad. I'm a diehard Edward girly, and Edward's not really in it. No spoilers, but you guys should know this has been out for a long time right at this point. But so that is something I'm rereading physically. I'm almost done. Like, I think I'll finish this week, maybe in this reading vlog. I haven't done a reading vlog in a while, so I wanted to just kind of like document my reading right now. I am a big mood reader, so that's why I'm like reading so many different things at once. I'm also in like a million different book clubs, which I love, but that's why there's so many random books I'm in the middle of. Now I'm gonna go in on top of that liquid blush with the Essence Satin Blush just to secure that. So obviously probably not much need for me to tell you what Twilight's about. But then the other book I'm in the middle of is Heartless Sky in the Zodiac Academy series, which is the 7th book. Yes, the 7th book. It's a long series. But I'm buddy reading this with my friend Katie. I've talked about it a little bit, I don't know if on here, but on TikTok. It is like a paranormal school series, and I really like it. It's really good. It's definitely gotten even better in the later books. As the books have gone on, I feel like the writing has like progressed. It is 2 authors, Carolyn Peckham, and I always forget the other one. It's pretty good. I can't really say anything without spoiling, but there's like a lot of different magical creatures. We're gonna do the e.l.f. bronzer in Forever Sunkissed. And so yeah, there's a lot of different magical creatures. There's like fae, or the fae is like what all the creatures are called, and then they have like a different order. So there's like vampires, werewolves, no werewolves. There's vampires, dragons, like sirens, all kind of stuff. It's really cool. And then you're just kind of following them as the 2 twins, originally are immortal, and then they get kind of pulled into this world and realize they're like lost princesses. They enter into this world that's like already has like an established like royal system, and so their like parents have died, and so they're like the children of these like crazy past rulers. So it's very interesting. There's like politics, there's a lot of like different relationships within the characters. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of POVs. So that is going well. These are very long. This one I think is like 800 pages or so. So it takes me a while to get through them, but I do read them on my Kindle. They are on Kindle Unlimited. Then the other audiobook I'm listening to is The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. This is a recommendation from one of my friends. Oh, I forgot to mention it in the Zodiac Academy. This kind of reminded me of this. They do also have like Zodiac, like whatever their Zodiac sign, they get assigned to like an element from that Zodiac. So like if it's a water, earth, or like fire sign, they have like different elemental powers. And the 2 main characters are kind of like Avatar-esque, where they have like all the elements. Anyways, Sword of Kaigen, I'm just now getting into it, but it's like a fantasy series where so far we're following 2 different like POVs. One is from like a younger boy going to this school that's like magic based as well, but they're kind of like a military force. And there's a lot of like politics so far that I find interesting. But the character development is supposed to be really good and like very like feminine focused. There's also like a main character, his mom, but I imagine she has some like cool dark past that she's gonna address. So I'm excited to see what that's all about. Her Her name is Misaka, which reminds me a lot of Mikasa from Attack on Titan. And she kind of seems like that so far, so I'm excited about that. Hello, happy Monday. Today I have already finished my reread of New Moon. I think I talked about this yesterday in my vlog, but I annotated it. It took me a while to get through this one. It is, now, don't get it twisted, I am a stan. I'm a Twilight stan. I love Twilight, it's amazing. The second one is just not my favorite. I have like, it used to make me really sad to read as like a preteen teenager because like obviously it's the one where he leaves, and so I was like, oh my god, it's so sad. So I just hadn't reread it very many times, so I'm glad I did. It's fun to discuss with people, especially people who haven't read it before, which a couple of people in our group have not. But yeah, I annotated it fully. Yeah, so I finished it today, and I'm gonna try to finish this book. So this is Psychic by Sylvia Brown. This is her memoir. I picked this up at like Second and Charles one day when I was there, but it makes it kind of random, but me and my grandma used to watch her special on, was she on Maury? She was on one of like the talk shows. She would come on and do like a segment in the mornings, and so we used to watch her all the time. And so this is a pretty short like memoir, and so I picked it up just for fun. I think it's very interesting. I think stuff like that is very interesting, but that's what's coming on the docket today. Other than that, I'm kind of just getting ready for work. I might go sit outside and read for a little bit since it's nice. And then I need to make some food and then get ready for work. I have my second coffee of the day. I have my hot coffee now. I have my iced coffee. We're just chilling. This morning.
Action Comics 1065.
Show me the cover. Oh.
The Superboy and Supergirl.
Hello. Today is Wednesday and we were off today and just ran a couple of different errands that we needed to do. But for the most part, just chilled and relaxed at home, which was amazing. And now I'm playing Life is Strange Before the Storm. We just got word that a new game is coming out. Actually, I think they have 2 games coming out within the next year, because there's the Lost Records that I think comes out in September or October, but then there's also one called Life is Strange Double Exposure, which is a continuation of this story. So I need to make sure I finish Before the Storm and catch up on the franchise before the new one comes out. These games are pretty old, but I just didn't get around to them until recently, and they're really good. The first one I really enjoyed, and then I've also played Life is Strange True Colors as well, and that is chef's kiss, perfect. It was really good. As far as what I've been reading today, I have been reading this. I think I talked about it in one of my other clips, and I incorrectly said The Maury Show, which is hilarious. It is not that. It's the Montel Williams show that she was on that I remember her from, but I'm about halfway. It's just pretty nostalgic because I used to watch her with my grandmother, and so it's been interesting kind of reading her memoir about her life and things that she experienced. She's a very interesting woman. So the other book that I was reading is The 30 Names of Night by Zen Jacquardar. This is our book club pick for the month of June, and it is about a Middle Eastern trans boy, and how that has kind of affected their culture, their identity over time, and they're also grappling with grief over losing their mother, and a lot is going on. I will say there's also their apartment's haunted by ghosts of their mother, and there's diary chapters from another character that we don't know a ton about yet, but it's been really good. It's just I think it's trying to do a lot, so I think I will have more concrete thoughts on what I think about it as we progress through the second half of the book. But so far so good. It's just there's a lot going on. I've been mainly doing the audiobook, but I just got that book that I ordered from Pango recently, so I think I'm gonna switch to doing physical book. And I also am listening to the Sword of Kaigen. Basically it's following these essentially Japanese samurai, and there's a couple different POVs. One of them is from the mother, and she was in her prime, she was a badass, really cool, really using her powers and her skill set, surprising a lot of people, because typically in this culture the women do not do that sort of thing, but now in the present day she is more how you would say traditional and domestic and raising the children and not really utilizing her powers. But her firstborn son, Morimoto, you're following also her son as he's kind of leaning into his newfound power, which he's very strong, and he's the heir to his dad, they're just a really well-esteemed family. I don't know if they're technically royal, but close enough to where it's very distinguished in their culture. Their name is very highly sought after, highly praised. So you're kind of getting flashbacks between the mom back then and then her now, and what's changed for her. She can do this cool blood bending stuff, and there's also ice powers as well, so it does seem kind of Avatar-esque, which I think is really cool. So I'm really enjoying that audiobook. The narration's also really good, so I would recommend that if any of that sounds interesting to you. I'm reading a lot of different books right now. Again, I think this is ode to mood reading. I'm also reading a book, One Italian Summer, because I just wanted a fun summer romance. So I started that the other day. It's really short. It's only 6 hours. On regular speed. On my speed, it's gonna be way less than that, because I'm listening to it on 2.5 because I'm a psychopath, but that's just what's easiest for me. But yeah, so that's my reading update for today. I think I'm done probably reading for the day. I might listen to my audiobook while I play my more chill game, but yeah. Alrighty, I'm trying to decide what my next read is gonna be, and I'm trying to decide between Yellow Face and Banyan Moon, or just for the summer. But I've heard some people say that you should read her other books before this one, so I think I'm gonna go with this one. you doing today? So I have my mosquito protection, and then I have my plants sunbathing out here while I read some. So I am sitting outside to read a little bit. I did want to update you. Today is Thursday, so I just got home from work. I finished this morning this book, Psychic, My Life in Two Worlds by Sylvia Brown. Lilo. I'm also getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, so I don't know how long I'm gonna stay out here, but it also feels pretty nice. So I'm torn. It's the summer in the South for you. But anyway, so, the book was good. It's a little, the storytelling is she's really funny. I will give her that. But the storytelling is a little all over the place. Like, so I rated it kind of in the middle. I would say, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to stay out here. It is crazy. We'll finish filming out here. So I finished this. I thought it was fine. It kind of really goes back and forth on, does it want to be a memoir? Does it want to be like a tell-all of her experience as a psychic? Does it want to be like a Christian informative book? Like it kind of is trying to do a lot of different things, and that's not necessarily bad. It's just like was a little jarring. So it still brought me a lot of like good feelings, a lot of nostalgia. But would I recommend it to the general public? No, because I don't think if you have like an attachment to her. If you're interested in like psychic medium and stuff like that, she also ties it a lot to like her faith, so it's not really like completely woo-woo. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like, I don't know, I found it interesting. There was definitely some cool stuff, some history. Again, if you're interested in paranormal stuff at all, I think you'll find this interesting, but yeah. So this I was gifted by a friend last year for Christmas, and so I'm gonna start this one, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This is like a dark comedy, I think. Other than that, I don't know a ton about it. Grapples questions of diversity, racism, cultural appropriation, as well as terrifying alienation of social media. So I'm excited for the modern, like contemporary with some like culture aspects, which I always love a good literary fiction, so. So I was incredibly wrong about what this is, but I just sat down and read like 80 pages in one sitting, which is like a lot for me because I really enjoy this so far. I'm having a great time. Seems weird with the subject matter, but I think like what I described from the synopsis is pretty poignant. Like it is very much like funny but serious at the same time. Like it definitely is more serious subject matter, but at the same time it's taking it in a very like contemporary lighthearted approach. But basically what this actually is you're following two friends. The character who is the narrator, like the person you're following, is white, and she is friends with her, kind of like, they're both writers. So I actually really enjoy books from the perspective of like authors, or like books about books or books about writing. Like this definitely falls into that category. It gets a little technical, but like not in a completely out of touch way where if you don't know anything about writing or publishing or anything, like you would feel lost. It doesn't feel like that. So they're both like in writing and publishing, but her friend who is Chinese is like wildly more successful than her, like insanely more successful. And they kind of have like a surface level friendship where it's not, they go get drinks together, they talk about things, but it's not like super close. But, and this is not a spoiler if this is like in the synopsis, her friend Athena dies, and she discovers in her apartment, she's like there when she dies, it's very traumatic, but she discovers in her apartment that night a draft that she had just finished, a manuscript of her next book. And again, she's wildly more successful than her, and so she takes it and she publishes it under her own name, which she does like a lot of editing, and like she really doesn't think that she's actually stealing it. It's like she knows that it's wrong, but the implications of that are very interesting, and it is very like thought-provoking because this is her friend that is white, and the story is very much like Chinese culture focused, so it was going to be like an own voices situation, but now it definitely is not. And the cultural implications of that and like how that's being handled by the public and our character, it's very, very interesting, and it's very good. The writing is really good. I haven't read anything from this author before, but I know she has a lot of other really popular works, but so far so good. I feel like I'm gonna finish this like pretty fast. Like I'm already like 25% of the way through it, so I might finish it tomorrow or maybe even tonight, who knows. My cozy setup for the night, playing some Fable Dome on my computer. This game is so fun and cozy. Got my tea, got my MacBook, my AirPods to listen to my audiobook. So I figured I would give you guys an update on my reading spreadsheet. Don't know the last time I've really shown it on here. It's like what I track on a yearly basis right now. It's not the prettiest, so I'm looking for a way to make it look nicer. But these are like my monthly totals. So that's where I'm at. That's my genre tracker, format, how I purchased it, if I did a physical copy, or if I did a audiobook, the gender and the race of my authors. I'm really trying to diversify my reading more, and I know I've read a lot of white female authors, which is not necessarily like, I'm not like mad at myself for these. It's just really like, so I'm more aware of it, honestly. And then there is the publication and the ratings. And then I keep track of this little like alphabet challenge just for fun. I'm not doing so hot right now, but I think I will for this one have one to fill out. Okay, so we have Psychic by Sylvia Brown. Let's see. So then this is the actual reading log of every single book I've read. And then I will like do this to the author name if it is a repeat author. Do you have these little drop down menus? I forget how to spell her name. How I acquired it, I like to put like where I bought it from. So I bought this one from Second and Charles a long time ago, so I really wanted to get it off my TBR. I read it for fun. It wasn't recommended to me from anyone in particular. The author is female. She is also white. And then I did the physical, standalone. I'm wondering if it technically was, I used my genres based off of Goodreads. That's what this website is. I also made this spreadsheet, so I mean, if anybody wants it, I can share it. I'm just weird and I like spreadsheets, so. And I would say memoir, it's closer to. And then this is like a subgenre if I want to like, I think I'll do like a paranormal one. I had a serial killer one, that's funny. And then I don't know if it's rated adult or young adult. It's neither. I would say more adult. It definitely does more adult themes. And then I've told you guys before, I'm not huge on star rating. I'm big on like more like, did I like it or not? And I was kind of indifferent about it. So I'll do that and then do 3 stars. The year that it came out, which was 2010. What you got, Coleman?
Oh,
say hey
so much better.
Say hey to the vlog, Coleman.
Hey! Check out this guy over here. Look at this guy. Dirty backpack.
Sunglasses.
You wanna go back and get him?
Yeah.
Y'all know we're all loud enough. What you got?
White Claw.
Hey.
Kelsey, you'll have to work for it to huh?
That's why I wanted this one. I was like, hang on, this might still be pretty
This will boost you.
I'll do it.
Ain't no truly bucket. That's the truly bucket. Rain. 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 5 foot.
Okay guys, thanks for watching another vlog. I hope you enjoyed and made it to the end where I'm gonna wrap up some of the books that I read in this vlog. This is a little while later because I forgot to film an outro. But the first book I finished in this vlog is The 30 Names of Night. I didn't love this one. This was for our book club. I think it had a good message. The kind of goal was to read from a Middle Eastern marginalized author, and that definitely is in own voices with this one. I think it's just trying to do a little bit too much in one book. I think I talked about this a little bit in my original thoughts, but the overall premise is very interesting. I think the bird imagery is really interesting. There's just a lot of different stories it's trying to tell. The main character is struggling with their like sexuality and their body image and things like that, and it goes into graphic detail around that, which I think is important, especially for people who are experiencing something similarly. But then there's also like the ghost of their mom, which I love a good ghost story. That's kind of like not the main point, but then there's also segments from a diary that they're reading from a different POV. I do think how they wrap up the connections there is really interesting, and kind of like the mystery behind that. So I think this was good, but it wasn't my favorite. Then we have, this one was absolutely amazing. This is Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. I talked about this one earlier on as well, but my closing thoughts on this one is it was almost a 5-star for me and almost a favorite. I think the only reason it didn't like tip over the edge was it was a little bit repetitive. I think that's kind of the point though. It almost borderline is like, not horror, but like it's unsettling in a way that it seems very intentional. This was very unique. I think it really kind of flips writing and like the microaggressions like on its head, the way it talks about like the publishing industry, which I'm not familiar with, but it explained it in a way that I thought that was very enlightening. I think this author's writing is really great. I've also heard that she's very diverse. She has a lot of different books, so I definitely will be picking up more from her in the future. And it was a great pick to be gifted to me, so I'm glad that I got to one of my other gifted books. And I figured why not talk about this absolute behemoth of a book that I have started since the ending of this vlog, and I'll expand upon more in my next one. But this is Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings. This is my friend's copy. I own the like mass market paperback, but I was like, I feel like that's gonna be hard to read with how long this one is. This is like a classic fantasy series by Brandon Sanderson. The only other thing I've read by him is Warbreaker, and I absolutely love that. I have been meaning to get to his other series for a long time. I know there's a lot of different ways you can read them. I've chosen to start with the Stormlight Archives because of different recommendations to me from people that have read his novels. A lot of them are contained within like a big universe and have like interconnecting things, so please don't give me any spoilers. I don't know anything besides the 25% that I've read of this one so far. So thank you guys again for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye.